Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal and the political vigilante. Hey.
What's up?
Hello.
Hey, I like to talk like this. Hey.
All right.
So we all know the mainstream news media is horrible. They lead us into wars. They're there to forward the agenda of the plutocrats. What are plutocrats? People who derive their power from money. So the richest people in the world own newspapers. Newspapers forward their agenda, which is why the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and MSNBC shit all over Bernie Sanders and made you know that you could never have single payer. It will never happen. And you can't end the wars and you can never break up the banks. That's what the media tells us. That's why I have this show. Because you know how shitty they are. In fact, even how they cover up for our War Department, our war machine, the military-industrial complex. Here's how they cover. So when we kill innocent civilians, you know, when terrorists do it, it's the worst thing in the world. But when we do it, U.S.-led coalition confirmed strikes hit Mosul site where civilians died. Oh, they died because what did they have? Did they have a flu? Or did we kill them? Isn't that funny how they say it? Here's another one. Here's another way how they say it. U.S. acknowledges airstrikes in Mosul where more than 200 Iraqi civilians died. Not that they were killed. They died. So they do that kind of stuff all the way. This happened right here in California. This is what I really want to talk about. Because I'm going to talk about that stuff in another video. But in this video, we're going to talk about this. ABC News tweeted out, California teen killed by a bullet. Really? Where did that bullet come from, I wonder? A bullet killed him. Was it laying on the sidewalk and he fell on it? Did the bullet fall off a building and hit him on the head? How did a bullet kill a teenager? I'm sure it wasn't someone who's highly trained on how to use their weapons.
No.
Well, let's see. It says California teen killed by a bullet after L.A. County deputies opened fire on charging pit bull. So was he killed by the cops or was he killed after they shot a pit bull? The connection between the bullet, the cops, and the dead teenager could not be farther apart in that headline. It's almost like, yeah, the cops shot this dog that was trying to kill him, and then a bullet went and killed a kid.
Well, guns don't kill people, Jimmy.
No.
No.
It's the stray bullets.
It's the stray bullets. Like, I don't need a gun. If I wanted to kill everybody in this room, I would just have a fistful of bullets and a tennis racket, and I could do some serious damage.
Yeah. Isn't that an amazing headline? That's ABC News. California teen killed by bullet.
When's the last time you recall somebody describing to you a dog charging? Dogs don't charge.
So that would be like saying Manson family invades compound. Pregnant woman dies from knife wound. It's like, yeah, they knifed her. Manson family kills people. Not Manson family enters compound. Pregnant lady dies later of a knife wound. Oh, what happened? What, did she knife herself? This is literally the headline. Could the fucking news... is that coming from the police, this headline? It sounds like if the police wrote a headline, that's how they would write it. So here's the story, actually. Listen to the story. As Los Angeles County Sheriff deputies were shooting at a pit bull that was charging at them, a 17-year-old boy was apparently struck in the chest by one of the bullets and died. Those goddamn bullets... They make it sound like the fucking bullet did it. It's by itself. One of those goddamn bullets decided to go jump into into a kid.
Was a
fucking bullets.
Apparently.
Next paragraph. The shooting happened at 3:45 a.m. in Palmdale, California, after deputies responded to a report of loud music.
Get your guns out.
Get your gun out. As the deputies walked up the driveway, a 60 to 65 pound pit bull, aggressively charged at the deputies and attacked one of them, biting the deputy on the knee, the sheriff's department said. Apparently the sheriffs don't have pepper spray. apparently don't have tasers. Apparently they don't have nightsticks. Apparently the only fucking thing cops ever walk around with is a fully loaded, ready-to-fire gun. That's it. Remember we gave them tasers, so now they won't shoot anybody. Remember we gave them pepper spray? Now they won't shoot anybody. That's all they do.
Postal carriers know how to use pepper spray.
Pepper spray. Do they shoot dogs? Do postal... Never hear a story of a postal carrier shooting a dog.
They carry pepper spray on their thing of a dog. They'll pull it out. That's it.
That's it.
It's called literally a deterrent.
Yes. So back to the story. At that time, a young man came out from behind an apartment complex and restrained the dog and took it to the back of the building. Deputies were helping the injured officer and waiting for paramedics when the pit bull came from the rear of the apartment and again charged at deputy personnel. So then the cops pulled out their pepper spray. Oh, wait, what did they do? At that point, two deputies shot... Two deputies start shooting at one dog at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. You know why? Because those cops are pussies and reckless and have no regard for human life. That's why. These guys are fucking trained. 2 guys shooting at one dog at an apartment complex. And none of those guys are going to be fired. They'll probably get some vacation time. They just killed someone because they're fucking trigger-happy cowards. You don't have pepper spray on you, you fucking coward? You trigger-happy fucking maniac? You just killed a teenager because you don't have pepper spray? Or do you have pepper spray and you just feel like fucking shooting your gun? At a fucking dog? You pull your gun on a dog? The fuck's the matter with you? Oh, I know what the matter with you. You're a fucking cop. You're a trigger-happy, no respect for life fucking cop. And the fucking newspaper covers up for you. You're such pussies you don't even take responsibility for killing someone you killed. At that point, 2 deputies shot at the pit bull from 5 to 7 feet distance. At which time the pit bull retreated back and they missed it.
They didn't even hit the dog?
They fucking missed the dog. These Barney Fife jagoffs missed the dog. Guess who they didn't miss? A 17-year-old fucking boy that they killed. Because they're cowards. Show up for loud music and you pull your guns? You don't know how to handle a dog attack? A fucking mailman knows how to handle a dog attack. You fucking gun-happy, crazy fucking maniacs. And these are the jagoffs we let patrol our streets with fucking guns. The deputies went to the back of the complex in an attempt to corral the dog and to prevent additional victims.
Oh, brother.
After you fucking killed one. And the paper just prints it uncritically. The paper, LA Times, just printed, just mouthpieces of authority. The paper. And as they walked to the rear carport area, they found a teenager on the ground who appeared to have been shot in the chest. Who shot him? I wonder who shot him. I wonder who could have shot him. The teen was hospitalized and later died. The sheriff's office said detectives believe when the juvenile came out from behind the building, which was approximately 40 feet away from where the shooting occurred with the dog, the juvenile may have been struck by one of the skip rounds. May have?
If only there was a way to figure out where that bullet came from.
Boy, where I wonder if is there a way to retrieve that bullet and find out if it came from a cop's gun? If only there was a way. This is bullshit. These are fucking guys. They murdered someone and the paper covers up for them. And those cops they're going to get a fucking vacation for this. They killed a teenager over a loud noise. Captain Christopher Bergner of the sheriff's office said it appeared that the skip round. No, it appeared that one of the deputies fucking shot at a dog and killed a teenage kid at 4 a.m. for absolutely no reason except they're trigger-happy fucking maniacs. Shooting a dog at 4 a.m. What the fuck is the matter with you? The deputy bitten by the pit bull was also hit in the leg by a bullet fragment.
Wow, just when you thought they were bad at their job.
They shot themselves. That's how bad these cops are. They shot themselves. They're such pussies. And such maniacs, such trigger-happy fucking maniacs. Not only did they kill a kid, they shot themselves. All over a fucking dog, which a mailman can handle. And these are cops? Could cops be bigger fucking pussies? According to the Los Angeles Times, Bergner said in a press conference the deputy's injury also appeared to have been from a skip round that had ricocheted off the ground. You train those cops? What'd you train them to do? Hey, if you get nervous, pull your gun, start shooting. If you guys get nervous, even if it's just a fucking dog, pull your gun, start shooting. Couple of you start shooting at the same time. At this one dog. 2 fucking trained cops with bulletproof vests on, pepper spray, tasers. They got fucking cops around. And what do? They pull out their guns at 4 a.m. and start shooting at one dog. He was transported to the hospital and is listed in stable condition. Well, thank God. The sheriff's department said the investigation is ongoing because this was a fatal deputy-involved shooting. A deputy-involved shooting. That's another fucking great term that the papers use. It was deputy-involved shooting. It wasn't a deputy-involved shooting. It was a shooting by a cop. He wasn't involved. There was no one else shooting. That's another mealy-mouthed bullshit term that the newspaper uses. This is the LA fucking Times. This is why we have a job, because the fucking mainstream media is bullshit and apologizes for power. Right now, they're covering up a murder. Because this was a fatal deputy-involved shooting, separate investigations will be conducted by the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner, Coroner, Sheriff's Homicide Bureau, and Internal Affairs Bureau. And each one of them will conclude the cop feared for his life. And so it's all you have to do is say, I was scaredy pants. Why are the biggest, most afraid scaredy pants motherfuckers becoming cops? Can someone who has the courage to stand up to a dog become a cop? You think that could happen? Or how about someone with the courage to stand up to an unarmed black guy? Anybody with those kind of balls become cops? Or is it just trigger-happy fucking maniacs from top to bottom, left to right? It's not a bad apple. The Office of the Inspector General is expected to provide independent oversight during the investigation. This is hilarious. Once concluded, every aspect of the shooting is reviewed by the Sheriff's Executive Force Review Committee. And it turns out just every one of those reviews turns out the cop was right. They don't say that at the LA Times. They don't tell you that. Turns out every time we investigate something, turns out the cat was right. Anyway, we're going to have a thorough investigation, and we're going to thoroughly exonerate the guy who fucking killed a teenager for no reason at 4 o'clock in the morning because they're fucking trigger-happy maniacs. They even shot one of their own deputies. That's how fucking crazy these guys are. Yeah, let's give those guys guns. Well, I shot my partner, and I shot a teenager. Whoa, what, you guys were in a shootout? No. There was another guy shooting at you? No. Was someone going to stab you? What was happening? There's a dog. Fucking maniac. We give these guys guns and we salute them and we give them respect. Anybody who wants to be a cop is suspect immediately. Why do you want to help your community by carrying a gun? Because you're a fucking maniac. The pit bull will be euthanized. Oh, well, thank God. They didn't even fucking hit the goddamn dog. 2 cops shooting. They shoot a teenager. They shoot another cop. And these guys were trained? Where the fuck were they trained? Did Stevie Wonder train them? Who trained these fucking guys? These are guys we're given a gun. We give these fucking guys gun. Here's a gun. Go. Hey, there's a phone call. There's some loud music. Take your guns. Take your guns. What the fuck? Nicole Nishida, a spokeswoman for the sheriff's department, said the department's policy for using a firearm on an animal is, quote, personnel may use firearms to employ deadly force when dealing with animals when they reasonably believe that death or serious physical injury is about to be inflicted upon themselves or others. So you couldn't, no pepper spray nowhere? You don't have a taser? Nowhere. Nowhere. Let's go to the gun. I'm gonna maybe shoot my partner, kill a teenager, but it's and I'm gonna miss the dog. That's what a Barney Fife fucking horrible cop I am. We're not even going to 2 cops shooting at 1 dog, miss it, shoot another cop, shoot a teenage kid. And the paper's super cool with it. I don't know if you hear how they're reporting it, but it's totally even-toned. No problems. It's going to be investigated. It'll be investigated by 3 different departments who all 3 will say the cops did the right thing. Anyway, over to you guys.
It's the investigative, the independent investigative things are just like, it's like we're going to investigate these drug dealers by drug distributors and other drug makers. It's so internal, and it's all it is just more lip service. It's astounding to me, and that's the cop go-to. I think I talked about this before. I got a jaywalking ticket in North Hollywood, California, right? I ran across Lankershim Boulevard.
Rebel.
Criminal. Cop pulls around. Big, bald, muscular cop. White dude. Gets out of his thing with his hand on his piece.
Unbelievable.
For fucking jaywalking.
These are the people, folks, these are the people who become cops. Just so you know, if you ever have a problem with someone, don't call a cop unless you want the person shot or yourself shot. Go ahead, Graham. So you're jaywalking. Cop gets out of his car with his hand on his gun.
Hand on his gun. Like I ran out of a bank with a bag of money and I'm holding and I'm just like, whoa, I got my hands in the air. And he's like, I go, because I need to see your ID. I go, what's up? He's jaywalking. I go, really? I jogged across the street. There was nobody there. You should have used a crosswalk. I go, really? This is what you're... He's like, I need to see your ID. I go, well, I got to reach into my pocket to get it. And I get it, and I get into him, and he's this hard ass. And first thing was in my mind was like, this guy looks like he has PTSD.
Yeah, and if he shoots you, guess what? They're gonna find a gun on you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you were acting aggressively.
Oh yeah.
You ran towards him.
And you're white.
Right. And I'm white.
Right. And you're fucking exactly.
I'm a clean-cut white guy, and I'm treated this way. And while he's writing me the ticket, his partner was a shorter Latina woman. And I'm like, you know that there's human trafficking happening within miles, right around here. She's like, really? I go, yeah. There's people being held against their will right here in L.A., right? Probably in the Valley. We're in North Hollywood. I said, I know guys that are cops in Chicago. They've never written a jaywalking ticket.
Ever.
And she's like, oh, really? And then he's all hard ass. And I got 32 hours of community service. 32 hours of community service.
Are you kidding me?
Cops gonna be cops. That's all I can say.
And I was at the LA Sparks WNBA game last Sunday with my girlfriend. And there's as we're leaving, Sparks won. It's great. It's the most mellow sporting event you ever get. There's not a lot of drunk guys at women's basketball. And I see a couple LA cops, and one of them kind of looks like this guy. And he's sitting there with this hard ass look, and I kind of make eye contact with him, and he starts eyeballing me as I walk out. At a women's basketball game, there's a bunch of youth groups, there's families, It's not some drunken ball. There's not a lot of drunk dudes there. After the game, there's a woo, and he's mad dogging me. And he's all buff and tattooed, and I'm just like, and I was scared for a second. I go, I'm leaving a basketball game with my girlfriend. It's an afternoon game.
So the cops now in America, to me, when I was a kid, you would watch movies and read stuff in school about the SS in Nazi Germany. That's what the cops are like now. The cops show up, they can do whatever they want. They can kill you, they'll shoot you, and they'll never go to, look what they did to Philip Castile, look what they did to Mike Brown, look what they do everywhere. They'll just shoot you and nothing ever happens. That's what the establishment wants, baby. There's no movement to stop them. We lock up fucking over 2 million people in this country. We have more people in prison than the rest of the goddamn world.
And Jimmy, I was raised under officer friendly. Oh, great.
Officer friendly.
I was raised that way. I wasn't even raised in an environment of be afraid of the cops. I was raised on yes, sir, no, sir.
Right.
I was raised that way, and I'm fucking terrified of these guys.
I am too, and I'm white.
I'm a white guy who was raised to respect, and the officers are here. Wow, what a noble profession. I was raised that way.
I was raised to respect them, but I also know that I didn't trust if I was, driving alone and just to be pulled over in kind of like a private area. I always knew that if somebody was going to pull me over, I was going to a business site. I was going to go pull over in a gas station, but I was never going to just pull over on a road where I would be vulnerable to somebody being aggressive and having power over me. So I always knew that. I fortunately haven't faced that situation. But back to the story here with this young man dying. There's no compensation for this family, and we all know that if this happened in Beverly Hills,
It wouldn't happen.
If there was loud music at 3 and 4 in the morning in Beverly Hills, there'd be a polite knock on the door.
They'd call you.
They'd call you, or maybe they'd go talk to the security guard and go, "Hey, we got a call. You guys mind if hey, our boys in blue are here. Here's a couple of road sodas for when your shift is over." That's how it would have fucking gone down. And in some bad neighborhood in Palmdale, guns a-blazing.
they've got nothing else to do.
Nothing else.
And let me tell you something. My grandpa was a cop. My dad was a cop. My oldest brother was a cop. Some of my best friends who I've stood up to their weddings in Chicago are cops. And cops are fucking maniacs. And that's how I know. My whole goddamn neighborhood was, half of them were cops, half of them were criminals. I know a lot of cops. Cops are fucking maniacs. And the ones who become cops that want to help people, they either quit or they become maniacs. So there's no good cops. They're all like this. I know that sounds harsh. Wake up, America. It's a fucking culture of maniacs. A culture. It's not a couple of guys who are trigger happy or jumpy. This is how they're fucking trained, man. They have it started with the drug war, and after 9/11, you're a terrorist. And by the way, their safety's paramount. They got to make sure they get home at night. You always hear cops say, no, you're supposed to make sure I get home at night. You're supposed to risk your life as a cop. But no cops do that anymore. It's your life before theirs. That's it. You're going to go down before they do. And that's a fucking fact.
It's their life before a dog's.
Before a dog's
Two
life.
guys open fired on a dog, couldn't fucking hit it except the other guy's leg, and then they had a skip shot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Skip shot.
That kid went to a party.
No. It's a skipped round.
Sorry.
Which I have to say that I have never heard that term before.
Sounds like
and
a
they
jump
don't
rope.
want to say it's a skip shot.
No,
It sounds like a jump roping game.
Oh, it's a skip round.
Oh, this is the round we skip?
Oh, it was like a blank.
It's like a round robin?
Sounds like a cap gun that had a dud.
Oh, yeah, skip round.
Well, this entire article by the LA Times is
Is
diminishing
bullshit.
the gravity of the situation
Yes.
and the tragedy of it.
Yes.
And that for 1 second they say, yes, the officer, the sheriff, was wounded by the animal. Really? Show me the photo.
No photos, no nothing.
Where's the evidence of this aggressiveness and had to euthanize this pit bull? I mean, a young man died.
Show me the story about the kid who went, 17-year-old kid, I'm going to go goof off with my buddies. Whatever. He's drinking. He's being loud and silly like we all were at age 17. He went to a party. I doubt he was like, man, I hope I don't have a skip round that was meant for a dog kill me tonight when I go to a party.
Nobody's got a gun at the party. There's no violence at the party. There's nothing happening. A dog gets loose and they kill a teenager.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that when the police arrived, actually that's when the violence began?
As always, if there isn't violence, call cops and there's going to be violence. And if you think what I'm saying is harsh, you're naive. Now who's being naive, Kay? Did you not see what the cops did to peaceful protesters at Occupy Wall Street across the country? They couldn't wait to brutalize those people. They brutalized Iraq war veterans. They put shock grenades close to their heads and gave them brain damage. They pepper sprayed old ladies.
They just pulled people in wheelchairs out of Congress who were protesting the fucking overturning of Medicare.
Pulled people out of fucking wheelchairs. Cops gonna be cops.
Were they
so
charging?
There needs to, go ahead.
Were they charging?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the people in wheelchairs. I felt threatened for my life when a senior citizen in a wheelchair who just wanted health care was saying, I don't want to move.
Cops going to be cops. So we need a big revolution in this country and revolving around policing. Because it's not like this in other countries. You know, cops in England don't even carry guns. They have certain cops. If you need a gun, you call them, they come. Special gun cops. It's crazy what the plutocrats are doing to America. This is what the plutocrats are doing. They want you afraid. They want to have their own army. You know, Michael Bloomberg said, I have my own army. When he was mayor of New York, by the way, instituted unbelievably racist policing policies. Bad apple. It's not a bad apple. It's a culture of out-of-control, brutal maniacs who are trained to be that way. And if you're not a brutal maniac and you become a cop, you either leave or you succumb to the culture. That's a fucking fact.
And, you know, I do have to add this as well. You know, I did this whirling through my brain that the whole idea that these cops are on the loose in these residential neighborhoods, but they're not that wild on Wall Street.
No, nobody.
Have you noticed?
That's weird.
That weird, huh?
So they didn't get a call. Wall Street is plundering billions of dollars from working class Americans. The cop showed up, right? And
Did the cop show up?
Did a skip round go by one of them? And no? Oh. Wait a minute, though. When BP polluted the entire Gulf of Mexico and there's still dead marine life washing up on the shores.
Was there a skip round?
Was it a skip round because one of the dolphins went bad with all the oil in its brain?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
So good job, LA Times, of being unbelievable fucking lapdog mouthpieces for the corrupt, powerful elite and for the fascist police department. Fan-fucking-tastic. You're doing great work, LA Times. Keep being shitty. Keep being horrible, because that ensures that I will always have this show. And you wonder why people get their news from YouTube. Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is July 17th. That's right, July 17th. That's a Monday in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right down here or go to jimmydorecomedy.com. July 17th, Burbank, California, live Jimmy Dore show.